Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be covering the castle base, which was designed for an evacuate or repair the shelter mission, which is a 3x3 with 2 high objective. Now basically this is a jail build as well. Now I was meant to put this out a year ago, so this was one of the footage that went missing on my hard drive, so I really hope you enjoy this video even though it's very late. Now, something I'd recommend whilst trying to build the castle design is to use a ninja loadout with the Soaring Mantis team perk. Now, this team perk can be found on the Wukong mythic hero, and this team perk allows you to jump an additional 2 times in the air with Soaring Mantis, so up to 3 leaps, and this really helps with trying to do this build. Now, something you can do whilst trying to load in into an evacuate the shelter mission is when you're in these lobbies, it can sometimes be hard to actually pass the first encounter. So an easy way to do it is to actually have one person load in on their own and go up to the actual shield around the objective. Now this will end up triggering the wave to start, and then they'll have the kill counter. Well, once that kill counter's there, which for me it was just 30, that means the rest are now free to load in. Now this kill counter is really low, so it means you can just leave them to all despawn onto the shield, do it damage, and they'll die and the wave's over before you needed to kill anything. The only thing you do have to keep an eye on is the flingers or lobbers that throw stuff at the objective, and you might need to kill them. Hello everybody, today we are going to be going over the castle build. Now this build is designed for evacuate the shelters and repair the shelters, in which the objective shape is a 3x3, which is then too high. Now for this, when you're doing this, make sure you check the actual objective modifiers or the mission modifiers, which will tell you which element the mission is, which just make sure you choose the right building structure piece just for the main walls at the bottom. But for this, I'm just doing it in brick because it makes it look so much nicer, like a castle. Now, this is just going to be the kind of the cheaper version, which is not all pimped out to look like a castle too much, but I will upload that shortly afterwards. So once we've put the outer walls on, we're just going to run an outer ring of floors. And now, this is going to be the main core bit at the bottom, and just make sure, you go and tear it up. Now, for doing this, you really want to make sure you're using a triple jump ninja. Now, reason being is we're not building outwards, we're building upwards. So because we're building upwards, you're really going to want to have the triple jump, as it really helps being able to speed build this. Now, for building up, what we're going to do is build the 4 high. So you build 3 extra cheap wooden walls up above the brick, and this is going to make it 4 high, and we just do this the entire way round. Now, if you'd seen my other builds, like the monolith style build, this is sort of a similar principle, but what we do here is we actually kind of allow them the route to be able to jump down and jail them for this one, which we'll see later on. But for now, this is what we're doing, making it 4 high, and this is where we'll be knocking them up. Now, if we're knocking them up 4 high, they also are not going to be able to jump off these sides, which is a pretty key point. So once we've built all of these structures around the base, what we're going to do is count to the 5th floor out. Now at this space, as long as you're on the flat terrain, is where we're going to be building up the ramps. Otherwise, just try and make it so the ramp piece lines up with just the right height to be one above at the top side, so you can knock them up with floor launchers to get above the actual objective here and land on the 4th high platform. Once we're up here though, we're just going to be running a ring around the top. Now what we're doing is we're leaving a hole open in the middle, and this is going to be for later on. And then to finish off the these ramps, which are going to knock them on top, as well as act for something pretty cool where they can run up and jump in, we're just going to edit them all like this, so it's like a pyramid of ramps facing over the top to knock them onto the top of the objective. And we just finish this and go the whole way around. You also want to finish off these ramps up on each and every side, or at least the sides they're going to spawn on. Now what we're going to do when we get up the top is we're going to be placing these 4 archways around the top of this hole here. Now this is going to be the structural support for the rest of these structures up around the top of the base, and it's just going to stop everything from falling down if the ramps are taken out down the bottom. And then we're just going to be placing these ceiling panels across, and these are going to help Husks path across. However, make sure you don't place those archways or any structures around the outside, because it can stop Husks getting knocked up when they bounce up off the slants. So in order to build the jail, what we're going to be doing is jumping down from this top surface and landing on the shelter. Then we're just going to hop up one and land on the floor piece. Then we're just going to put the walls all the way around to join up to the top. Next, obviously, we'll just tear everything up, but we'll put a door in one of the sides because this also allows us to easily exit if we happen to fall down. Then what we're going to do is just build the classic traps of a floor freeze, wall dance walls, wall lights, and maybe something like a sound wall, or you can wait and then you can place an extra wall light once they jump in, and you can wait in here when they jump in and stagger the timings. Then for when we come down the bottom and outside, what we're going to be placing is the floor launchers. So for the floor launchers, we'll be putting these all the way around the objective. So these will go all the way around, and these will be able to fling all of the husks up the top that come to the walls. And then what we need to do is just make sure that if we look at the spawn direction as well, we can end up placing the sand walls. So the sand walls will just help keep them off the walls for a little while if they decide to come and smack on them. So if we look on the map, you'll see the directions of the spawn points, and that's the main areas that we want to kind of focus these kind of sand walls, because they're pretty expensive as well. You don't have to use the sand walls, but you can use them. Now if you notice, between the top and the bottom there, it is actually 3 tile drop, which the husk can take in if they walk above, as well as from this level that I'm standing on, it's a 2 tile drop, so they will also drop in and take it. So we'll just jump underneath and have a look underneath the castle. So inside here is where we can see the floating jail just suspended down below the top of the surface. And we'll see that if we actually place our base up on the top, it covers everything inside. So for when the wave is going on and they're stuck in there, you can be assured that it will cover all of the necessary structures just inside of the jail area. However, when the initial attack's happening, it doesn't actually cover the lower walls, so you can put your base in one of these lower corners for where the spawn direction is, and this will just be aiming at trying to help basically cover those surfaces. So when they're coming in, oh wait, I can go down the bottom, so they're actually going to be running up the top and jumping down here. But if we go wait off the side, and I'll show you them actually walking up the top, it's pretty funny. So here we go. Here's the enemies, and they'll be walking up the top. Now if any don't actually walk up the top, they can go down the bottom here, and then they'll get launched up and they're on to the pretty much the same area, just one below. So here we go again. Here they are, and capiche, they're up. Now if we just go up and take a look at what is precisely going on. So we can use these ramps to get up. Here we go. So they got flung up onto that level, and the ones that walk up come up here and just drop in. Now this is what I should have done. I should have placed these traps in earlier and timed them properly when they just got in. So yeah, make sure you kind of do it that way. But I was just trying to use this for the footage here. And here we go. We've jailed them inside the objective. And that's it. You can just wait out the mission now, pretty much. So this is of another wave, and what you see here, this is what I kind of more intentionally wanted to do, which is where I get there prior to the husk being there, so that you can actually time the traps right. For when they land in, you're going to be able to stagger the activation of the wall lights. So the kind of thing you'd want to do is like you just wait till one wall light goes off, then place another one, wait another couple of seconds and place another one again, and then it will just stagger all the activation times. so that they'll keep activating one after the other. So if we just stand on top of the actual base now, we're going to be looking down and seeing this is what's going on. So this is the enemies successfully jailed for the rest of the wave. Now, yeah, I was messing around just chucking in a loot crate because we do have the ceiling open. But if they're going to be stuck in here, so if they're jailed for the whole game, this means that the rest of the enemies aren't going to be respawning. Now, this would mean also that there would only be assassins outside. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to kill stuff just for an example. So, like you see, like nothing would be respawning, there'd only be the assassins out here, and they could then be pathing up to us or be trying to interact with us, not being concerned about the actual base to do the damage to the base. However, if we've just killed something, which we just have, we'll see in a second that we're going to have a boss. Now, when it comes to the boss waves, what we'd have to do is you can either try to kill them, but also because most of the stuff is actually jailed up on top of the objective, there's not going to be anything to really worry about once he's whacked out the walls, because there's going to be no husks respawning in to actually, you know, do damage to the amp. So you can either deal with the boss by trying to kill him, or just casually just replace walls after we've bashed them out, because there's not going to be a lot of panic, because, well, there is nothing here, it's just assassins and the boss. So it makes it quite easy to be able to deal with him in that respect. So yeah, if you do end up getting a boss wave, you can just do that. You can either let them all bash out the bottom walls, and then just replace them. Otherwise, feel free to just let them just go ham. I mean, everything's attached, or just destroy them. So there's not much to kind of worry about, to be honest, when doing this build. Also, this is a view from underneath. It's quite funny when you actually see them jailed if they've got the shielders attached to them, because the little shielders, they're all stuck down the bottom underneath, so it's quite funny. Hello. So yeah, that's kind of it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and this was the castle build. I realise as I've done this, honestly, I've actually not done it exactly how my old one was, because this was some of my footage. I had to recreate this build because some of my footage went missing quite a long time ago, so this was something I'd done probably a year back but lost off my hard drive. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I probably got to do a 2.0, because as I'm doing this I've realised I've kind of done it a bit wrong, but this still functions perfectly fine. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll catch you again soon. See you guys.